Good afternoon, folks. Welcome in. My name's Steve James, Community Manager on F1 Manager 2022, and we're here with a brand new gameplay stream for you, aren't we, Chris?
Yes, we are.
How you
Hello,
doing?
everybody. Yeah, I'm all good, Steve. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm hyped, man. We've got 15 days. 15 days left to go as
2
everybody
weeks
is everybody is counting down. As I've seen there's people on Reddit counting down. I don't know if you've seen the people are doing like a driver, like with a car and the driver number for a countdown. Which is quite cool. Why didn't we think of that? Which is very cool to see. So yeah, very, very exciting. 15 days, man.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's been already. We haven't even launched, and it's been an awesome journey. Like, it's just been really cool to build this community with people. And
a lot of hype in chat.
Yeah, hype in the chat, hype on Discord, hype on Reddit, hype all across socials. It's been really, really cool to see as we've been sharing more information, like gameplay with feature focus, behind the scenes videos. We've shown
everything.
Off to.
Loads.
Been loads to show, more to come. But we always have fun doing streams like this, and I think this one especially is going to be a lot of fun. So,
this is going to be a very fun stream. That's a beautiful segue, Chris. I think that makes it
1-0.
I think that's 1-0 on the segues today. So yeah, as we are 15 days away from launch, we thought it'd be a good idea to show you guys a little bit about maybe the future of F1. Yeah. Two of the things we've had a lot of requests for actually are seeing some practice and qualifying.
Yeah.
So we're going to show you practice and qualifying gameplay, and we're also going to show you the potential world of F1 in 2030, aren't we?
Yeah, it's that's really exciting. I'm actually going to give a shout out to some like a content creator who I know is a huge, big time hype for this game, who's called Work the Space, and like I actually saw him saying on Twitter just a moment ago, is like, with games like this, looking into the future and seeing how it dynamically changes and evolves is a huge part of the game's, of the game's quality, and seeing how it changes and stays exciting and fun. We've talked about it, on our live stream. Actually, we talked about the ratings reveal, and we talked about, everybody was excited and debating about the overall ratings, but we made a big point about those ratings change over time, and that's just one element of how this game will dynamically evolve. We talked about it, and now you're going to see it, which is super cool.
Yeah, we'll do it. So yeah, we're going to show you 2030. We are using Williams for this, so we're going to be showing you some Williams gameplay from 2030. We're going to go through practice and qualifying, and we're going to try and squeeze as much of it into an hour as we can.
Yeah.
If you've seen our other gameplay stream, you know that squeezing an entire race weekend of this game into an hour-long stream is probably going to be a bit tight. So we're probably going to rush through some laps.
We're going to have to be disciplined. Like, we're going to be so loud. I just want to watch every lap. We're going to have to fly through it.
There's going to be so much action again. Totally. It's just going to be going to be a nightmare. But yeah, and we're also going to do the same thing we did last time, where we're going to do a chat prediction. So if you stick around until we get to the race weekend, you folks in chat will be able to predict on whether my driver or Chris's driver will gain the most positions during the race. Should we get into it, because we haven't got a whole lot of time to show a whole lot?
It's very quick, sort of like ready reckoning before we get into it. Obviously, 15 days to go.
Yeah.
F1 Manager 2022. If we've got a lot of people joining us from Twitch today who may be seeing this game for the first time. So yeah, F1 Manager 2022, the official management game of Formula One, coming out from August 25th.
From August 25th.
Days. If you pre-ordered the digital version, you'll get early access, which means you can play from August 25th. If you get the physical version or you don't pre-order, you can play from August 30th. But that's PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and you're going to get a very good look at right now how it's going to look if you play through multiple seasons starting at 2030. So, you ready?
Let's get into it.
We should have done some kind of like.
We should have done that.
But we won't. We're getting to it. And here we are. I can see up here. Here's the screen, and here is the first look of the 2030 season of F1 Manager 2022.
I can see some things already.
So much that people could just right now go, what? That's so interesting. I think a key thing to immediately kick off with, people are going to be super hyped in chat. I'm already seeing chat of like different drivers, different ratings, all this kind of stuff. A key thing to mention at this point, we're going to show loads of different cool things that have happened in the game. I know you're staring at the chat. A key thing to mention is that there's an element of like a dice roll, and there's an element of dynamic and unpredictability about this game at all times. So we're going to show you loads of different changes and loads of different involvements of the game. But what you see won't necessarily happen.
Yes,
in
this
your
is
save.
unique, right?
The rating that you see for one driver won't necessarily happen in your save. They probably will develop and change, but not exactly how you're seeing in our save, because things different. The way you play, the way seasons evolve, it will change. But this is just a great example that you're going to see of how an example of how things can change. And as you can see, if we are Williams, one driver's the same, one is not.
One is different. So we've got Teo Porcher, who's now rated 82 in 2030 in our save, and we've got Alex Albon at 91 as well. So Alex Albon's been putting in some serious work.
Yes.
He's excelling right now. And I think the big headline, Williams Racing is second in the
Yes.
in this second in this
So
Constructors Championship of Zero. But you can give a bit of backstory as what's happened to get here.
No, it's a good shout. So like in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the teams lineup, and what that actually, the order that that's in is actually the results from the previous seasons.
Yes.
From the 2029 season, Williams came second in the Constructors World Championship. Red Bull took home the trophy last year. But that doesn't tell the full story. But we'll get into it a bit more about the driver's side of things, which is even more interesting, I think. But as you can see, that's the lineup. So you can see Red Bull still very strong, Ferrari up there too, but you can see Alpine very strong. So they're looking really good. McLaren as well. Mercedes have dropped off a little bit. Obviously, it's been a bit of a tough season for them this season, but they've been coming back up. But in this save, they've come down again.
They've come down.
So these things can happen.
These things can happen, and we'll get into how those things might happen.
Yes.
Shall we have a quick look at the driver market as well? Because there's probably been some other changes, right?
Yeah, so I think we've got an email here that I flagged. So a very small thing that you can do, actually, I'll hover over it now, is if you want to, there's a little flag next to every message you get in your inbox.
So I can flag them and then forget I flagged it, just like in real life?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
like the actual
my actual inbox.
IRL inbox. Yeah, if there's something that is important to you, you want to keep track of, you can flag it and come back to it. So what I'm going to do is try and find one that I flagged. Here's one I made earlier. So there's the regulations. Here's the team. So this is at the start of every season, you'll get an update from the world of F1 and from your team of how the grid is stacking up for next season.
Okay.
So let's take a look at how the grid is stacking up.
Let's do it.
So obviously,
scroll down.
Teo, Porsche, and Alex Albon are our drivers. Verstappen for Red Bull. Carlos Sainz.
Back at a Red Bull team.
Yeah, and there's actually a bit of a narrative to break down then once we get into the race preview. But yeah, Carlos Sainz. You see some reserves from Frederick Vestes, a very highly rated driver, the reserve over at Red Bull. Keep on scrolling. This is like the slow scroll to reveal it.
Yeah, I know.
Ferrari, Leclerc, still at Ferrari, but actually again, I'll talk a little bit later about how things might have changed a little bit there over time. Ocon, very interesting, 95 rated overall.
Ocon.
He's
again,
really
putting
pushed
in
on.
some serious work in the
really pushed on, really developed
in the 2030 season.
Yeah, so he's over at Ferrari, really fulfilling his potential. Valtteri Bottas, a veteran but still doing extremely well over at Alpine, who, as we've said, looking very strong this season. So Bottas, Magnussen, good car, good experienced drivers. You've got some interesting reserve drivers here. A certain Oscar Piastri. I've heard he's been in the news recently. I don't know if you...
No, I haven't heard a thing.
So in this save, he's the reserve driver for Ferrari, but who knows how it might turn out in your save.
Yeah.
Jack Doohan, the reserve at Alpine. So we'll just rattle through some more of the teams and just look at the main drivers. So very interesting Mercedes main two driver lineup: Pierre Gasly and Lando Norris.
Nice.
That feels like a very modern day.
That's a
social media racing team.
It is.
Almost.
It is. Yeah.
So you got Pierre Gasly. George Russell is at McLaren.
Logan
joined
Sargent.
alongside the American Logan Sargent, who's having a great F2 season right now. Some reserve drivers. You've got Haas, who have got an interesting lineup. You've got Yuki Tsunoda, who's doing very well at 86 rated, next to David Beckman, who's an up-and-coming driver too.
Yes.
So Zhou Guanyu's still around at AlphaTauri with Lance Stroll. That's an interesting lineup. Drugovich, the current leader of the F2, in real life, current leader of the F2 Championship, now at Alfa Romeo, Mick Schumacher, and then Aston Martin with Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi. So
bringing Giovinazzi back.
There's your lineup. So that is 8 years in the future.
Okay,
just for this save, that is the lineup that you'll see in F1
Perfect. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot about the ratings in chat.
Yes.
Worth reminding that that these can be very, very varied depending on where your save goes. So
absolutely.
This could be a totally different situation compared to where your save starts and ends. But let's have a look into it. So we've got presumably, here we go. Yeah, we can see the list here.
Yeah, I thought we'd bring this up because we discussed it before. So currently, best driver in the game. By overall rating is Max Verstappen. Right. Perhaps not too surprising. An incredible talent. He's still young in real life, so see him right
32 here. Isn't that weird to see that? That's the first time I've seen the ages this long.
He'd be a huge veteran by this point.
Yeah,
crazy.
God.
Way over 10 seasons in F1. So that's really interesting. A key thing to note here is there's a couple of free agents.
Yes.
So we'll point this out. So you've got Sergio Perez.
A 40-year-old Sergio Perez is a free agent.
Free agent. Daniel Ricciardo, free agent. I think some people might be thinking, well, why are they free agents? They're really highly rated. Why haven't they got a team? Finances is a big part of Formula One. It's a big part of F1 Manager 2022. Perhaps teams are looking at these options and going, perhaps we don't have the budget to bring in a really, really strong driver like this that won't have lots of potentially longevity because they're quite old, so they might not think it's financially worth the investment. Maybe you will, and in your save you'll see a talent like that available. Go, I'm going to go for them and just try and make my team immediately better with a strong driver. So yeah, some very interesting ratings to look through here. But as you said, they will change depending on your save and how things develop. The way you develop your own drivers and the way the other teams around you succeed or fail. And yeah, it will all dynamically change. But some really interesting ratings to check out here. Like, yeah, very, very interesting stuff. Ricardo here, 91, very strong. But yeah, like I said, a free agent. Gasly, still only 34, but 92 rated. Seems like a great option. So yeah, really interesting stuff. And all the reserve drivers, F2, F3, really making the leap forward. Drugovic
jumping into Formula One and kicking it off.
Yeah, the key thing I wanted to mention before we sort of continue, I think if I flip it this way,
drivers can retire. Yes, by the way, drivers can and will retire.
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, I nearly jumped through that. Thank you, chat, for mentioning that. I should have mentioned this earlier. Do you want to go into that? There's a couple of drivers in this save that have retired. We were talking about them earlier. Can you maybe?
Can I remember them?
Yeah.
I believe Hamilton has disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't know who else. Who else has gone?
So Lewis Hamilton in this game has retired.
Okay.
Fernando Alonso,
of course.
Sebastian Vettel. And maybe there's another one. I might be missing one off the top of my head. But yeah, it's so there are options. You know, drivers will retire over time, but again, that's not a set. They won't at a certain age they'll retire.
Yeah,
it will change depending on how your save plays out. But in this game, yeah, a couple of huge superstars of F1, 3 World Championship winners: Alonso, Vettel, Hamilton, all heading off to pastures new and sort of leaving opportunities for younger drivers. So yeah,
which is good. We like that. We like younger drivers coming through.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at maybe what else has changed with the 2030 season. There's a way that we might want to catch up on potentially regulation changes as well.
Yeah, we'll get regulation changes just a second. The only last thing to mention on the ratings, I think we might have mentioned in an earlier stream about fictional drivers coming in.
Yes,
that's a key part
our
of
new
the game.
gens.
Yeah,
yes.
so as drivers, we just talked about drivers retiring. Fictional drivers and staff will come in to keep the driver market and staff market topped up, and so there's lots of options for you to break through. And we can see here there's some young drivers that are fictional that are coming through the ranks, and you might want to track and scout going forward as you progress even further in your save. And that includes female drivers,
yes,
and staff. So we've got one here, so Luba Mifsud, so that's a fictional female driver. We've got another one here, Patricia Barbier. So yeah, so we mentioned before that some of the fictional drivers and staff will include females, and there's an example there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
that's awesome.
You were mentioning something else?
I was mentioning, yes. So I was trying to segue it, but I missed the segue.
I'll give you it 1-1 because I should have mentioned it.
It's all right. We were talking about things changing, regulations in 2030. What are our regulations going to be looking like?
We've touched on this in the past in live streams and in other content across socials. Regulation changes, rule changes, big part of F1 Manager 2022. Let's see what's happened here. So, pole position, bonus point.
Bonus point for pole position as of 2030.
Yeah. So if you achieve bonus point, if you achieve pole position during qualifying session in this save right now, you get a bonus point. But another very interesting one: double points for the last race of the season.
Now that is spicy. That is spicy. Have we talked about doing that before in F1? I can't remember if that's been a thing that's been floated
in
about.
The past. Yeah, I remember. I think it was
2030 double points.
Yeah.
All right.
So you could be within 50 points, 51 points, 52 because you got fastest lap and pole position. So you could be within 52 points of the championship leader going into the final race.
All right.
By some miracle, you might still have a chance of.
And somebody's just asking if you vote on this. Yes, you very much do.
Yes.
These will come into your inbox as proposed changes for the start of the new season, and that's very much your kind of space to vote on it. And obviously, some of those may influence you better than others.
Yes.
Which we can kind of, you'll see here. You've got options as well for gearbox limits and stuff like that.
Yes. So the other key thing to mention in terms of regulation changes is that every team now has one more engine part.
Yeah.
So we're obviously seeing in the real world this season, teams are finding it very tricky to avoid penalties and stay within the allocation of engine parts. So kind of as a reaction to that, I guess, there was a proposed rule change about adding one more engine part of each engine part, and that is allowed in this save. So yeah, it's very interesting to see too. So yeah, you vote on, like you said, you vote on these. Other teams vote on them too, so there's no guarantee that because you voted for or against something, you'll get your wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, vote, like you said, vote strategically, try and vote in a way that benefits your team. But those are some very interesting regulation changes to check out. So yeah, that's regulation changes. So yeah, cool.
All right, sweet. Okay, so we have a little bit of a look at the pre-race prep then, maybe jump into
pre-race prep. Yeah, is there anything else worth going?
I'm trying to think. I mean,
headlines. Here's one to mention.
Yes.
So obviously in real life, Williams right now, Mercedes engine. Not in this save.
Okay, what have you done? What have you
I haven't done
decided to do?
I haven't done anything. And actually, you've reminded me of something else worth mentioning in a moment, just after this. But I haven't done anything. But we've said before that you have the option after the first season in the game to look at potentially changing engine supplier.
Yeah.
In this save, that has happened. So if we head here. Actually, we look at powertrain.
Chat wants to see something else as well after this. We'll try and squeeze it in.
Absolutely. So view manufacturers. So here is where you can look at engine manufacturers.
All right. So we are now Williams RB PT.
Yep. Williams powered by Red Bull.
Wow. All right.
Probably not the actual drink and other energy drinks.
No. Yes, that probably wouldn't go so well.
You'd probably ruin the engine if you did that. But yeah, that's the option that this save has gone with.
Okay.
Which is very interesting to see. So Williams powered by Red Bull in the save. So what was the
previous champions?
Previous champions.
Yes.
Let's see if we can find that. I think profile potentially has it or something like that. We'll try and find it. I can see previous winners for sure of different races.
Yeah, I don't know if we can go for a specific. We know well.
Yeah.
Mr. Albon has been quite successful.
This is what I was going to mention. Yeah. So. Drivers' results. So we mentioned, I think, when we were promoting this, that there was a certain driver that was a 3-time world champion, and that person is Alexander Albon, which is incredible. And I think our team that put this save together just absolutely nailed it for the last couple of seasons with their driver, and achieved 3 consecutive world championships. So Williams,
there you go.
Whilst they might not have won the Constructors' World Championship last season, they did win the Drivers'
They did win the Drivers.
So that's really interesting to see. But there's a lot of other stuff if we go into the pre-race prep that we can check out that's interesting regarding how things have developed over the last few seasons. So let's go prep Grand Prix.
Okay, yes.
Circuit info. So previous race results
there you go.
As an example. So last season at the Bahrain Grand Prix, we took the win with Albon. And Porsche came third,
a nice
strong result.
Both on the podium.
Both on the podium, but as you can see, Alpine very strong. Bottas in second.
Yeah.
But if we look at historic results, he's won the last 3.
Again.
But here's a very interesting wrinkle you might have spotted, that the winner of the 2026 Grand Prix is Charles Leclerc.
At Red Bull,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is what I like about the fact that we've kind of skipped on well, not skipped on, but sort of not made it so there's any affiliation with teams, right? So, you can totally get Charles Leclerc at Red Bull. That's totally a thing you can do if you want. And I love that. I think that's cool. I think that's, I want that kind of in the future.
What if?
Who knows? Yeah, what if? Who knows what happens?
Totally.
It kind of really paints that what if picture for you.
So it's very interesting that Leclerc for this season we're about to do is back at Ferrari. So at some point during the save, he was at Red Bull and pretty successful. But now for this season, he's just moved back to Ferrari. So these things happen, driver transfers.
I love that
don't involve your team. It can absolutely
the stories
happen.
You can paint there is really cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, well I know we've got a whole lot of other bits to show as well. So should we get our race weekend preparation ready? Do you think there's anything else we need to show?
Let's just have a look through the different kind of stats and just make sure we're ready for what's coming up. So. Interesting looking at expected strategy. So all of the stuff that you see in this area, I think people have asked us before about if data and records are maintained for as you progress in the game, and the records in the game add on the data that you've done in your save. Yes, they do. So things you can see here about expected strategies and time considerations, compound performance, all of these things. That is data that is taken from the Grand Prix that you raced in previous seasons. So we've had 8 years worth of races that the game in this save has been able to break down. So that's really interesting to see, is that you've got lots of different options here about strategy. We're looking pretty good, but as maybe a bit of almost a spoiler before getting into the action, Williams have been extremely strong for the last 3 seasons, which is fantastic. But we talk a lot about how the game will always remain challenging and unpredictable. And you will probably see, as we break down into this Grand Prix, that it's not going to be that easy this season.
3-time world champion, maybe not having the easiest time this time. But again, that's, we've got some regulation changes that have affected that as well. And, you'll find out when you play for yourself that is very much a possibility. You're going to have stuff that will, effectively nerf you in a way. That
almost,
will,
and it's similar to how we see in the real world of F1. And it may have been that, the team that we're doing this save really pushed on with focusing on last season and nailing the championship and being competitive, whilst other teams may have been developing their car for next season, which has given them a head start. So it's going to be more of a challenge for sure, I think, this year. But that's cool. It just means, just get to the top and then that's it, and you're just the top all the time. Things are going to change. You're going to have regulation changes and other things that make things really tricky. So that's really cool to see. It's going to be a bit of a challenge as we get into it. Final, I think, worth mentioning before I forget, it's just a huge shout out to the QA team and the development team who helped us put this together to kind of give you this glimpse into the world of F1 in the future in F1 Manager 2022. I nearly said 2030 then.
Well, I mean,
we should, if we're role playing it, we should have, But awesome job putting this together. And the other key thing to mention, that there's workarounds. There's no sort of black magic behind the scenes to put this save together. We just played the game.
Yeah.
We put a save together by putting a lot of time in for putting the save together.
Painstakingly going through each race.
So we could actually show you it. So huge shout out to our team for putting this together, and it's so awesome to see the way the game will dynamically evolve. So I think that's a breakdown of the world of F1 in 2030 in this save. Really interesting stuff. Driver changes, regulation changes. But it's time for the beginning of the season, I think.
It is. I think so. I think it's time for us to get into it. Let's jump across to our race weekend. Yeah,
let's dive in. I think we'll take a quick break, I guess, before we get right into the action. But lovely little loading screen. I just like that.
I do love it.
There's no caption needed. It's just that's a cool shot.
There's something about a night race, man. There's something about a night race.
Yeah, but then we're going into daytime, of course. Because,
we are, yes.
FP1 at Bahrain is in the day. So start of a new season. Everybody's optimistic.
They are, yeah. I mean, we've already seen that we may have some slight differences to our last season, but
yeah. So we know that's going to happen. Should we? Is this time for a little break? Maybe. I think.
Yeah. Let's show our. So we had our feature focus video that went out on Monday, in case you missed it, which is again going through race preparation and practice and qualifying. So let's play that quickly, and then we'll be back and we'll jump straight into it.
The F1 race weekend, where all of the off-track research, development, engineering and simulation finally comes into play on track. Learn from the data and driver feedback from practice sessions and hone the car for qualifying, where the fastest car earns the honor of pole position for the race. How well you balance your car and prepare for these sessions will be essential to a successful race weekend in F1 Manager 2022.
Preparations for a race weekend will begin well before you reach the circuit. Ahead of Friday practice, you'll receive the key details for the next Grand Prix, including expected weather, circuit characteristics, and even the probability of a safety car. Set your performance targets with sponsors, check the condition of powertrain components, and make sure you're stocked up on spare parts. You begin the weekend with 3 practice sessions, giving you a chance to test different setups for your car and assess overall performance. You can even choose to put your reserve driver in one of your cars for a session or two, helping with their development. It's up to you how you use the practice time, but the longer your drivers have on track, the more acclimatized they'll become to the circuit and car setup. Look out for feedback from the drivers and adjust the car accordingly to improve their confidence, boosting their performance levels. Qualifying in F1 is split into 3 parts, with the slowest drivers eliminated before a top 10 shootout for pole position. As team principal, your job is to give your drivers the best chance possible of qualifying in a strong position for the race. In the garage, confirm your tyre compounds and run plan for your drivers. From then, timing is everything. As all cars look for clear air on the track and the conditions change over the course of a session, use your judgment to get your cars on the circuit at the right time. If you're one of the faster teams on the grid, you may try to run just once in a session, saving a set of tyres for the race. As your drivers are setting lap times, use a host of information to help their cause. Look at grip levels, keep an eye on the track activity and weather conditions, and see the lap times of your competitors. Aside from that, it's up to your drivers to deliver on all the groundwork you've put in place. Knowledge, preparation, and confidence. Handling these 3 factors will go a long way to achieving success during a race weekend in F1 Manager 2022.
God, what a lovely voiceover that was.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Really sultry. I'll tell you who it is. It was Steve James. Hello, I'm Steve James.
Yeah.
And you are?
I'm Chris Groves.
Perfect. Yeah. And if you're just joining us, if you joined us halfway through that video, then you are here with our new gameplay stream for F1 Manager 2022, where we are looking at a 2030 save, 8 years into the future. And we are currently on our race preparation stage, aren't we? We're going to be showing off a little bit of practice now.
Yes.
Excuse me, which is something we haven't shown yet, so this is quite exciting. Getting to show a bit of practice. This is quite an important part of the weekend. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Yeah. So obviously in that video you may well have seen that. Yeah, we were talking all about practice and qualifying. So there's a good example, but now you get to see it in action live, which is really cool.
Now, obviously these are 3 3-hour-long sessions if you were to play through them in real time. So we're not going to be playing through these in real time. We're going to do the first practice session. We'll show you through a few of these menus, and then we'll probably just simulate practice 2 and practice 3, because otherwise we would literally be here all night.
Absolutely.
But yeah, okay.
So as so many people know who are watching this who are F1 fans, free practice is all about basically getting your drivers acclimatized to your car, to any new parts you may have fitted, and to the circuit.
Yes.
And in F1 Manager 2022, it's exactly the same. So you can use practice sessions basically to get your drivers up to speed and feel comfortable with all of those things. So I'll just hit go to practice 1, and we'll just really kick things off. But we'll kind of break. We broke some of this down with Andy in a previous stream.
Yes.
But
so
we'll show it in action.
Yeah, so the track acclimatization, all of these things are currently at 0%, is the thing to note here. We are currently not acclimatized to the track in this car, so we're going to go out and we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, so so there's a lot of things to kind of cover here, which we'll kind of break down. And like I said, it would take 3 hours to get through all of the practice sessions. So we'll look to be a bit sharp on that. But practice is all about getting up to speed with those things. I've written down some notes here to absolutely make sure I get this absolutely right, because I know that the development team have taken a lot of time to get this absolutely right. So I want to make sure that they are represented fairly by doing this right. So we're going to send our drivers out. There should be a fancy cutscene that happens here.
There is, yes. Look at that.
Sending out Mr. Tail Pourchaire. There we go. Right, so, and out he comes. And we'll send Albon out in a moment too. But yeah, so pretty much what this is all about is sending your drivers out for different runs, and as those runs occur, they'll begin to send feedback to your race engineer. So you can see here there's like a speech bubble, and then there's a 0 out of 5. So essentially all the way through a practice stint that we've just sent Pourchaire out for, and we'll send Albon out for now. That will go from 0 to 5 to 1 to 5. So they'll go through their sort of progression. They'll get a feel for the car and for the track, and then when they get to 5 out of 5, you'll then hear a bit of team radio. There's how it basically says, how are you feeling about the car, and then it will say if they're liking it or they're not, and we'll start to get some data back from them that we can then put into action by adjusting the car setup back in the garage. So I'm going to speed things up just so we can get to that point.
Okay. So we're on our first run here, and did you choose to send out? Was it Pourchaire with a few more laps of fuel as well?
I think it was Albon, because he was on hard tyres. Yes, you can see it's 22 kilograms of fuel for Pourchaire because he's on a softer tyre, so he's going to do fewer laps. 37, 36 now for Albon because he's on the harder tyre. Try and get some different feedback and some different thoughts from different tyre compounds. So yeah, we're going to route through it, but you can see here, so 3 out of 5 for Pourchaire, 3 out of 5 for Albon. And when that gets to 5 out of 5, you'll probably see a bit of feedback. But you mentioned about the 2 ratings being at 0%.
Yeah, there we go. Look, so we're starting to build up that track climatization, and that will obviously increase the more time you spend on track. So it's kind of about maximising your runs. Really, it's if you know F1 and you're kind of clued into the sport, you'll know that drivers will or teams will do different strategies in different practice sessions depending on what they need to do and what they need to learn. So there we go. We've just had Pourchaire say that the car feels a little bit off.
Understandable. It's the first practice session of the weekend, and it's the first race of the season, so you're not going to nail the setup straight away. And you'll see when we come back to the garage that now there's like a based on different areas of the car that you can tweak. We now have a bit of an area to work within that is hopefully we'll find the right balance within that
honing that window of balance. And that's the thing. We're going to keep mentioning this balance, but it is all about balance in this game. And in F1, it is very much about not only balancing the car, but there you go. Albon says it's really weird.
Fair enough.
It's a weird car. Yeah. We'll have to do some work on this one, Chris.
Yeah, I'd rather my drivers be brutally honest.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we've honed.
So when in a practice session, your drivers will come in automatically at the end of the stint that you sort of defined for them at the beginning. So you're talking about different laps. So in a moment, Pourchaire should just come in because it's the end of a stint, and Albon would do the same. But you can, if you want to, just bring them in earlier to do some setup tweaks. I might well do that actually, just to call the car in now.
Okay.
We'll actively run once the car enters the pit lane. Are you sure want to continue? Yeah, absolutely. So let's bring in Pourchaire so we can slow things down. I don't have to go and reconfigure. Right. So here we go. So in the car setup section, you can see now, because we've had a bit of feedback from Pourchaire, that in that blue section for each of the oversteer, braking ability, etc., there's now a little window, as you said, that you can now work within that. We can try and figure out somewhere in there is the optimal setup. So if we move these sliders around, you can see that the setup changes. So What do you think we should do here, Steve? We got front wing angle here.
Look at what we've got here. So they're really not happy with the oversteer. They're really not happy with the braking stability.
Yeah.
Or straight line speed even.
Right.
So we need to adjust these and try and find a range. But again, we can send them out, and we'll obviously simulate the sessions, but we can send them out again to then get some feedback on this new setup.
Yeah, so every time that you send out a car, as long as you've changed the setup, you'll then go through the same process that we just saw, and you'll get more feedback, and those windows that you see will get smaller
narrower,
because they're finding that optimum setup. So the more you run in practice, the more feedback you get with different setups, the better you can find that optimal setup. So this looks okay. I guess it's not too bad. It's all within the window, and he ran out on the soft, so maybe we do a quick run on the hard tyres. Let's
going on the hards. Okay.
Yeah, just switching things up. So we've got about 20, 22, 23 laps. Hit confirm, and we'll do something similar for Albon in a second when he comes in. Oh, he spun actually.
Oh,
interesting.
We got a replay.
Interesting, yeah. See, was it just losing tyres, just pushing a bit too hard? Looks like towards the back of the circuit. No, just got on the throttle too early.
Curb, yeah.
And absolutely, that's
well, we're going to come in anyway for some new tyres, aren't we?
Probably
So this is fine.
Clearly, it's for the best. Let's call the car in. Just got on the throttle a bit too early there, and a bit of a slide, but it's okay. No harm done, and we'll bring the driver in. So you can see here. We're now in the garage, we're configuring that.
And this takes time. So this takes time out of your practice session, as it would in real life. If you're going to start fiddling with wings and suspension setup and stuff, it's going to take time out of your session, and that's what's happening there for Porsche.
Yeah. So again, we've got more feedback from Albon about what he'd like to see on his setup. So let's try and move things around to find the optimum setup for him. Let's try that. Maybe.
Okay, you're going to put more rear wing angle on it. Yeah, I reckon take that up. Take that up to where, take it down, which sends up the speed on the straights. Let's see how that helps. There's some good straights here.
Yeah, good. And then we'll run him on the soft, so we've done both sets. I've got the hard on the soft for both drivers, and about 14 laps. You should be able to get to that before the end of the session. Yeah, there's plenty of time to do that, as long as we get the setup done in time. So, yeah, so basically that's a good example of how practice works, and basically go through that process as much as you can with your drivers in practice sessions. Their track acclimatization will pick up, circuit acclimatization will pick up, track acclimatization, and also getting used to the car and to new parts. Yes. That'll all improve the more that you run.
Let's send out Porsche whilst we've got a bit of time.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's it. And the last thing that we'll look to take a look at is the development point. Is the development boost, basically, like the performance. That's it, the performance boost that you'll see at the end of the session. So the more that you do all of these things and they get acclimatized to the track and to the car, the drivers will receive a boost in performance because they're confident, they're comfortable with how things are looking ahead of qualifying and the race. So the better you do here with setup, the more you run in practice, the higher the stats of your drivers will go to perform in practice.
And something on these graphs I think we've touched on loosely before as well is the car part acclimatization. So we've not, we're not sort of putting any new parts on the car for this race.
Yeah.
But if you were to put on a new front wing, that's also going to affect your setup and stuff, so that you're going to kind of reset your setup, if you will.
Yeah, it definitely becomes more tricky once you start going through the season and installing new parts.
Yeah.
You then go through a process all over again with your drivers, especially if you bring a package of updates to a circuit. It becomes more tricky than another race weekend for your drivers to get acclimatized. So yeah, absolutely right. Cool, but as you can see, we were talking earlier about it's going to be more difficult this season in terms of for Williams.
Yeah.
We get some more feedback from drivers. So happier, good, setup confidence, good.
Car feels pretty good.
Right, okay.
All right, okay, we'll take it.
We're making progress. That's really good. But yeah, so you can see here, bring this down, look at the standings. So Porsche 14th, and Albon in 8th.
Okay, so not World Championship places right now, is it?
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, and we've got more feedback now from...
That's regulation changes, baby.
Absolutely. Car feels pretty good. Okay, so we're making progress. That's really good to see.
Okay.
Right, so we'll rattle through to the end of
yes,
this session.
because this is one of those things where if you really want to sink 3 hours into practice, you can absolutely sink 3 hours into practice, or you can speed it up like we're doing here.
Yeah, yeah. Final thing to mention as well in terms of track acclimatization. I was chatting with the development team about this a couple of days ago. Is that the more that you run in a stint, like the longer your stint is, the faster that track acclimatization will grow.
Yes.
So when you first go out for a run with Albon or Porsche, they will slowly kind of get acclimatized to the track, say in the first 5 laps or so.
Yeah.
And then when you continue to run, they'll get more and more confident, and that sort of curve will go steeper. So, yeah.
Look at this. George Russell.
George Russell in a McLaren.
Mr. Friday.
Mr. Friday.
In a McLaren.
Yeah, in a McLaren. So yeah, Russell, P1, Bottas, P2.
Right,
you can
nice.
see there's lots of potential here for different winners, which is really interesting. So final thing here before we get into quali, performance boost. So we can already see here 7 out of 15 for Albon, 8 out of 15 for Porsche, and you can see that their ratings have increased to give them a bit of a boost going into the weekend, which is great.
Okay.
Right, so we're going to rattle through.
We'll simulate these next 2 sessions. So those will now be simulated and will be up to qualifying.
Yes. Yes. Another. Yeah, not quite as far into the future as we did
Still
before.
a little bit into the future.
Brilliant. Okay. We are here for qualifying. All right. So yeah, we'll try and rattle through this because we want to get into the race and show off like the fun action of a race day. But it's really important to show qualifying too. Interesting that the rest of the running that the team did is put up that performance boost again.
Yes,
so 12 and 11 out of 15.
Now setup confidence is it's okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
We've done all right there. We've skipped through a few, so we haven't had the opportunity to really get in there again. But that's fine for the sake of trying to fit as much of this in for you as possible.
Absolutely, yeah. So very quickly before we start the session, this is qualifying. Obviously, you choose what tyres your drivers are going to go out on, and we've talked about the car setup, so we've looked at that. Key thing, of course, as well is also a run plan. So if you just want to do the one fine lap, which is kind of the norm in qualifying, you can stick to that. If you don't, if you want to do longer laps because you feel like you might need a bit of tyre warm up or something like that, then you can change. You can go 2, 3, 4. However many you want to that you think is right. But we stick to 1 for Teo. I think for Albon, maybe just do 2 just to see how it goes.
Okay.
In theory, we're just going to play through the first qualifying session just to show you it.
Because again, we'll be here all night.
Yes.
But these are thankfully, qualifying is a little bit of a shorter period, but we want to get through the race here as well. So let's quali.
Yeah. Session has started. Here we go. Right. I think maybe we'll wait for a few drivers to go out.
So the thing to look at here is your predicted track grip. So this will show you kind of where the track is in terms of not only the grip but the rubber on the track as well.
Yep.
And you've got the graphs there on the actual driver's information. So sending out your driver, that's the best thing you can do here, is send out your driver at the right time. So you're sending Porsche out now?
Gone on for Porsche. Just get him out there. Get a lap in and see how it goes. And Albon needs to do 2 laps, so let's get him out. Well, he's going to do 2 laps, so let's get him out and just see how that does. A really good screen to show here, which is available in every session, is the live timings. So you can see kind of, obviously we're speeding things up, so it's a bit difficult to follow. It's slowing things down very quickly.
Should we do an onboard for quali?
Yeah, let's try and get.
Should we do a loud lap? Turn your volume up, everybody.
Sound up. Let's get on to Alex. Let's go on to Porsche X. He's probably doing a fly right now.
Yes.
And go race view. And here we are. Look at this.
Here we go. So worth mentioning as well that obviously you can see here you can take control manually in qualifying. If you want to start micromanaging qualifying, you can do that. But for qualifying, you do have this automatic mode, which will kind of save you accidentally dropping yourself down to conserve fuel or telling them to lift and coast in a hot lap.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like Porsche had some issues there on that lap. So we're going to have to send him out again.
What happens if both of our drivers DNF in the first minute of this race, Chris?
We're done. That's it. See you, everybody.
Pack it up. We're going home early.
I mean, it could happen.
It very much could.
So we just go on board here with that one just for a little bit to see how his lap goes.
Yeah.
Quick look at his sector times. 26.6. That's pretty competitive. 26.4 for Russell, who's just gone purple. So Albon not being far off that seems competitive.
Yeah.
And he's about to come over the line. Actually down the back straight, past some traffic, into the final corner, a little bit wide, but that's okay.
I love this at night. Can we look at the other onboards? The other that's the one. That's my favourite.
That's the one. Well, a bit of weaving there, trying to get some heat into the tyres, right? So how has he done? 0.5. Okay, that could be.
That's not awful.
Yeah, that could be okay. So so the drivers are going to come in now because that's the end of their run. Gazzy's had a bit of a run wide. Let's have a quick look at that. I'm doing that thing again. Oh, he's gone wide. That's unfortunate.
You're doing the thing where things happen and we want to watch them all, and then we end up being half an hour late, Chris.
So I think that Albon's going to be all right. I think with that lap time, I'm going to.
So are we going to conserve some tyres here? Is that the play?
Yeah, I think we'll go for that. Try and just do
if there's some track evolution now and Albon goes out, I will be furious, Chris. I will be furious. As co-team principal of Williams 2030.
Yeah, it's absolutely fair. But we've got a gap of around, so it's actually 2.4 to Magnussen, which is interesting. But I think they'll set some faster laps. Maybe those drivers had a bit of an issue. But Albon's gone again with the 2-lap run and gone even quicker.
Yeah.
So that's really good to see. So I think job done, I would say, for Albon. But hopefully I won't be proved wrong. Just enough time there for Porsche to do a second run. So let's hope he doesn't hit any traffic and get him out and get this run in. So let's speed things up and just see how he goes. Oh, it's going to be traffic. Interesting. Oh, if this goes wrong, you can blame me. Hopefully he clears the traffic. Okay. Oh, that's it. It's on me. So there is a great example of how not to do it in F1 Manager 2022. So I said Théo Pourchaire out at the completely wrong time because all the other drivers were going out at the optimum time, and now Théo Pourchaire will start from the back of the grid.
Chris, we were planning on doing a prediction where this will be great for you.
Yeah. Oh, superb.
All right, so that's an example of how you can mess it up.
We're
for
not
your
live,
driver.
right? We're going to do this
again.
Yeah,
we'll cut that.
Cool.
Cut that.
Right, cool.
Incredible.
Okay. I mean, I messed up big time there, but there's a good example of get it right or get it wrong.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that as well, to rub salt in the wounds. Q1 position.
Absolutely dreadful. But I mean, I was right about Albon, but that's doesn't feel like any real victory.
A stopped clock is right twice.
Yes,
Chris.
Twice today. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll simulate to the race.
Well, we've only got one driver left, so let's see if the simulation.
So let's see where he comes out.
Will do us any better.
Hit next. Qualifying 3 results. So Russell will start on pole. Albon 7th.
Okay.
Good result.
So can still gain some places.
Pretty good, yeah, and you can see it's very close between the drivers. It's up for grabs.
Yes.
Because I got it all wrong. wrong.
So now we're going to do a prediction.
Yeah,
we are. We'll still do it. I think it'll work. Mr. Saturday, Baslash says there. Mr. Saturday again, still Mr. Consistent.
He's looking good.
8 years on, still going. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a prediction here, troops, where you can bet your channel points. So you've been sat here watching this this stream. You'll have channel points in the bottom corner. If you don't use channel points, or you haven't used channel points before, they're in your bottom corner on the bottom left of the chat box. But we're now going to set up a prediction for you to decide. The rules will be who's going to gain the most places. Now, Chris is going to be controlling Théo Pourchaire, and I'm going to be controlling Albon. Now, Albon is 7th, and in theory has 7 places to gain. And Pourchaire has
many more.
Quite a few places to gain. So this may go one way or the other, but we will. We'll set this prediction up for you now, and then you can bet your channel points. And this is fun because we're going to use these in the future future streams, aren't we? So we're going to set up some cool channel point rewards in the future, and you'll be able to redeem these points. So. Get predicting, and you'll be able to do it. We're just setting that up now.
Yeah, we'll get that live.
And we're doing some strategies. So whilst we do some strategies, then there we go. There's your prediction, troops. Get predicting. Who will make up the most places? Chris with Pourchaire, or Steve with Albon?
So here's my Galaxy Brain strategies. I knew we were going to do this. Okay. So I thought, hey, if I start last, Théo, I'm surely got in with a chance of winning the bet.
Right. Okay. I see.
It's exactly what happened.
I see. He's fixing it, troops. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. So what strategy are we thinking? Let's. We're going to split it, aren't we? Let's do a 1-stop and let's do a 2-stop.
Yeah. So it seems like looking at the options that there's the potential for a 1-stop, and there could be a mix of strategies here, which is so many good races, a mix of strategies. So for Théo, he's starting from the back of the grid. He's going to want to make his way through the field.
Yes.
A 1-stop potential on the hard tyre could be the way to go. He should have the pace advantage over the cars around him. So 1-stop maybe for Théo. Whereas we look at Albon, what do you think? How would you want to go with it?
I mean, let's have a look at the times here. So we've got predicted times in the top here as well. In the top,
very close.
Oh god, it is really close, isn't it?
Close.
Do I gamble a safety car? That's the thing. It's not going to be a strong chance. Looking at it, I think the chance of a safety car wasn't overly strong here.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we think, chat?
1 or 2 stop, I think, is the big decision.
I think we've got to split it. So what do you want to do? Are you going to go with a 1 from 20th?
I'm going for the 1-stop.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, I'll do a 2-stop then. We'll do a 2-stop. Let's go. Should we go soft, hard, soft?
Soft, hard, soft. This one, yeah, okay. So that probably means you can really push the soft tyres. You can,
yes.
because you're going to have a long stint on the hards in the middle of the race where potentially something could happen, like you said, like a safety car or something.
And we're gonna manage those soft tyres manage the hard tyres in the middle,
right,
in the hopes that there's a safety car and I can get a free pit stop, and maybe we'll mix this up a little bit and go onto some mediums if there's enough time to last. But we'll see.
I like that. I like that. Okay.
I'm a big safety car gambler. It gets me in a lot of. There we go. Look, go bold or go home. 3-stopper. Let's go with all softs, and we'll take the penalty.
I think I saw something like the pit stops time. The time lost in a pit stop is around 20 seconds, so you're giving up another 20 to 40 seconds of race time.
I don't need it.
I'm going to make it up during the race. Okay, so how are we probably getting close to getting our bets in?
I think we are. Yeah, the bets are in. Let's have a quick look at the. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you now. It's 77% in your favour, Chris.
I mean, yeah. So strategy works.
Yeah, strategy works.
My strategy in the game might not work.
The strategy is to not have a strategy.
Yes.
Which is a flip actually, because I think normally it'd be me doing that. But I like it. Let's go.
Right, we're in. We're getting ready.
Okay.
We're going to do the bar. I'm going to skip through this up because we're already running over. As I knew
we are. Yeah, we have 12 official minutes left of this stream. We're not going to make that.
McLaren on pole position with George Russell behind the wheel. 2030 in Formula 1.
2030. Here we go.
If this happens in real life, come back to us. Come back to this stream.
If George Russell is in a McLaren in 2030, then I don't know. We win something.
Yeah,
probably.
Speed things up a little bit, and we'll just watch the start of this race unfold. But okay, Porsche, you've got work to do, my friend.
A lot of work to do. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be setting anything up here? Or are you just going to let him nurse the hard tyres?
Yeah, I think for now, just let him see how he gets on. But Albon's made a good start. He's already up to 6th. I think he briefly got past Norris in the Norris and the Mercedes. It's just complete brain melt trying to say that. But yeah, Norris and the Mercedes in 5th ahead. So see if we can try and make some moves with him. So Porsche on the hard tyres. Right, let's push him up. Let's do a little bit of deploy to try and move things up through the field. But yeah, so I mean, I'm going to go back to it. It's just such a good example of like if you don't get it right in qualifying,
it can make all the difference.
This is what happens. Sometimes you see it in real life too. Teams just don't quite get that qualifying strategy right. Just don't time it right, and your team ends up in trouble. So
I've lost my connection to chat. Bear with me, folks.
Okay.
I will keep trying to reconnect to chat whilst that happens. This does look sick. Yes, thank you.
It does indeed. Right. Okay.
The night race.
Yeah, I think this is probably the first time we've shot a night race live. So this is really cool to see too. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to speed things up a little bit, I think. Just
for the sake of let's get to an action piece. So we're looking at our pit windows here, which are the bit that you're seeing here for Albon.
Yes,
that's our kind of. Our window, if you will, for the pit, as we say.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when you can decide. I mean, you can go earlier if you want. You can go later if you want. That's just recommended based on the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So so as we were when we started the race. So I think the hard tyre for Porsche is not quite working.
We've landed back where we were.
Yeah. Albon made a good start, but he's kind of drifted a little bit back into 7th. Sainz leads the race in the Rebel, but you can see here through the track map, it's close. There's no lead team, making a big move and stretching away. This is going to be a really close race and quite possibly a really close season. But Albon, fastest lap of the race.
It's not going
We've
so
got
bad.
Pace.
I'm just going to say, Chris, there's going to be a whole lot of people in chat angry with you if you don't manage to make up a single place in this race with Porsche.
Yeah, that would be quite the effort in what is clearly a fast race car.
It is. It is clearly a fast race car.
To end up still towards the back of the grid.
Although we are closing that gap a little bit. Maybe the DRS will help down the straight as well. Although Albon's looking quite nice here on the back of Magnussen in an Alpine.
Yes.
Which is this is going to get so confusing to say because I look at that and I'm thinking, right, that's going to be Ocon or Alonso then, isn't it? And then I go, no, we're in 2030. This is Magnussen.
Absolutely. It's really, really cool. I love to see these narratives and how the game develops.
Yes.
And like all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool.
Somebody asks here, I feel like this has been answered, but can you watch drivers on boards or just yours? Why don't we have a look at Magnussen?
Here's your answer. Yes.
And maybe we'll go to the back wing.
Yeah. Good shout.
So if you want, you are basically your own TV director for this game. If you want to watch overtakes from any angle, we've got Albon here catching up with Magnussen, hopefully. You can watch it from the back of Magnussen's wing if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Any driver, any camera angle that's available to you, you can go with the trackside ones as well.
Yes.
We sped things up, but let's slow things up. Very briefly, let's just slow it down. So you can see Albon there in the fight with the Alpines and is it Norris? Yeah, it's Norris in the Mercedes. It's strange.
Please can you bring the release forward to next week?
I mean, if we could. My friend, we absolutely
if I wasn't already playing the game right now, I I would probably be in the same position asking the same question.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right, so DRS is open and we're seeing some battles now.
Okay.
There's a bit of a breakaway with the top 3, which is interesting, but there's a real big battle behind, and Porsche's now beginning to make moves. He's got the hard tyres warmed up.
We're up 3 places.
Beginning to make moves.
This is. I mean, currently you are winning the prediction.
Yes, which let's all be up. That's the real victory.
Oh, there we go. Look, Porsche overtakes Beckman.
Okay,
we're speeding up here.
Yeah, Albon's in the fight. Oh, we're low on.
And we're still nursing these tyres. We're only. You know, we're kind of. Yeah, it's going to be back and forth there.
It will be back and forth. Yeah, we're going to have to try and get through. It's because he's harvesting ERS. Yes. Early on. Right. So, anything you want to hear from Albon? He's still in P7.
Let's have a look. We're 66-ish% on our tyres there. They're wearing fairly nicely. We're looking. Well, we're on target for our pit window here by the looks of it. I think we're going to try and go a little bit later on our pit. We might go early actually to get some spaces.
Yeah, maybe undercut.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe.
There's a yellow flag. It's a Russell spin. It's a Russell spin. He's down to 10th.
Oh, wow. From pole.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another action happened there. Because we're getting all the overtakes as well.
But Magnussen now up to 2nd in the Alpine. Oh,
wow.
It's excellent.
I'd love to see it.
This phase of the race is really working well for some other teams. So, okay. So, yeah, we're lap 11.
Yes.
Looking okay. Porsche's made up a few places. I'm going to start to maybe just push him a little bit. See if we can clear some of the cars around us.
We're trying to skip overtakes because we know that we'll just end up clicking on all of them. But we will try and click on a few of these as well whilst we're going through. Yes, it is very true that there is red flags. Hopefully one doesn't happen here because that would make things very spicy. But there can very much be red flags.
So we're saying here, pit window entered. So you are now in your pit window.
I am. I'm going to do it.
You want to go early?
I'm going to do it, yeah. Let's go early.
Right, I'm going to pause
Let's go early.
This is the benefit of being a team principal in this game rather than real life. You can pause.
We have Bernard. Remember Bernard's watch?
Yes.
We have Bernard's watch.
So many people won't get that reference. But
I don't know, a good portion of people in their 20s to 30s, specifically in the UK, will understand Bernard's watch.
Yeah. Okay, right. A hard tie then for Albon.
Yes, hard tyre early. Let's do it.
Okay, so he's going to come in.
Great show. There you go. See, loads of people getting that reference.
I was more of the Queen's Nose fan.
Queen's Nose. Do you know what? Those are 2 shows that are very, very similar in my mind. I know they're not,
totally.
but they kind of are.
Yeah. Right. So Albon is in.
Okay, Albon is in. We're doing this we're doing about 2 laps early, I reckon.
Okay, he's last, but he's obviously early stop. He's going to come out into traffic. Including Teo.
Including his teammate.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to bring this back. Okay, so that's okay. Let's put it back up to 8 times. You happy here, ERS?
I'm happy with this, yeah. There can also, you can have pit stop errors. We can have slow pit stops. That can very much be a thing.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen. It can certainly happen.
One thing we might have to do here, if he continues to make up ground, Albon, is initiate a little bit of team orders here. And allow Porsche to let him through because Porsche's on a different strategy.
Yes, so. as co-team principal, I would argue that Albon deserves to be ahead.
I will begrudgingly approve of that decision. Yeah.
As you've already got more places than me.
But Porsche now up to 14th. He's kind of leading this crew here. And then he's gone wide.
Oh, brutal. We've just cut to that to see that. We were sped up, so it kind of cuts back to the action there for you, and you've seen us have a little bit of an accident.
A little bit of a running wide on turn 9, as you can see.
But we're fine.
But if he can stay, he's got a bit of open space now, so try and use a bit of ERS to clear him of the rest of the field. Albon 18. Let's try and get him through. I like your strategy. The undercut, it's just the traffic could be a problem.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think also one thing to mention here is that because we've kind of sped through our practice sessions, our current driver confidence in our setups is not as I personally. Yeah. If I had a 70% confidence from my driver in the car, I wouldn't be sending them out. I'd have honed that a little bit further. But for the sake of the stream, we've kind of sped things through a little bit. So they're not quite as confident in the car, which is maybe why we're seeing a few more spins than we might have if they were a little bit more confident in the setup.
You're right. Yeah. Right. So we've got our 2 drivers next to each other on the track.
Magnussen's in the pits.
Magnussen is in the pits. So some of the leaders beginning to come in now. But you can see
let's see this a little bit. We've got a
driver, team commands, don't fight teammate.
Don't fight teammate. Let's do it.
So can he make this work without losing other positions? That's the key thing.
Yes, because that can be quite crucial, especially if there's somebody with DRS behind your teammate with DRS. That can
Yeah.
Really.
But it looks like there's a good amount of room behind Albon. Both drivers making decent progress at this point in the race. So, right, there you go.
There we go. He's letting him through.
Nice and simple.
All right, nice.
And he's maintained position. So, good job. Well done, Teo. Doing your job for the team. Appreciate that. And back underway. And Albon now should be able to set some fast times with some clear air with Porsche nicely behind him.
Yes.
Although, because I've switched off, would he fight it back? I might actually switch this back on just for now. Just to stop him using ERS. Just to stop him using ERS as DRS to get back past. You wouldn't want that. Then we would have some drama on our hands.
We would have some serious drama.
It would be spicy.
It would be spicy.
It'd be great content, but we need to get our drivers up the field. Already, Albon up the field.
Here we go. Now here we go. This is where the Albon plan comes into play here. Hopefully.
Albon
plan.
Albon.
Look at this. There we go. Look, third now, and in theory, now I'm just desperate for a safety car.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Because we're currently track position with a pit stop third.
Totally. Yeah.
In fact. Let's maybe knock the tyre pushing down a little bit. Let's go for a light pace.
Okay. All right, you're really pushing for this.
I am. We're going to try and and then
I'm interested to see where this one-stopper brings out Porsche, because it looks like most drivers are going for somewhere in between a one-stop and a two-stop. So I'm interested to see how Porsche can get into this race around lap 35 or so, and see what positions he can make up. Hopefully some clear air in front of him. Right now, he's battling with the front runners.
This is great. This is great, but I'm going to need a safety car.
Yes, you are, yes.
Or to really conserve these tyres and then probably kill my race, because I've told Albon to drive too slowly.
But we're in a race here. Like, Albon's here with Verstappen and Norris.
Somebody's
spin for Latifi. That's unfortunate, and they're struggling. That's one of the things.
The regulation changes.
Yeah, regulation changes and just general development hasn't really worked for Aston Martin, which is interesting to see. But it has worked for the likes of Alpine, 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
Bottas, Magnussen, Alpine. You love to see it.
Leclerc past Porsche. That's understandable. We're on a different strategy, but it's been a good phase of the race. I'm liking Albon P5 at this stage on those tyres. I think that's a good.
Let's have a look at the difference in pace here. So if we go to our timings to compare our two drivers, let's have a look at that as well, just to see how we're doing in sectors.
So last lap 38.5, 38.4, so 4 tenths faster. We are in traffic, which is making things tricky. Yeah. So you can see here some of the front runners are going faster because they're in clearer air. Well, that's my excuse. Maybe there's better cars. But PB in the last sector for Albon just before the start of that lap, which is cool. And Teo did a PB actually on that lap for just on a PB for the first sector. So
look at that, 13 places gained, man.
Good pace.
Crazy.
All up here,
all up there. But look at your tyres. Look at those tyres.
When you see me on the top step of the podium in a few minutes' time, you won't be laughing then.
Let's see where you come out of that pit window.
Yes, let's not talk about that. DRS is helping the strategy massively too. Right, let's speed things back up. P5, so you're 2 places up, which still is good.
That's
and
great.
It sets you up well for the rest of the race.
The hards have done really well, yeah.
And to be on the soft tyre at the final stage, if you get to that soft tyre phase, is going to be really, really. You're going to be quick. Right, we're in the pit window, but so we're around 30% tyre use. Right,
there
so
you go.
Here we go. So we're now kind of in this window.
Tyres are struggling.
I think.
Porsche.
Yeah, I'm just.
So what are you thinking?
Maybe for a lap or so, just letting, the likelihood of a spin now or an error is increased, so it's a bit risky. But maybe just 1 or 2 more laps to make sure that the medium tyre stint is doable. So that's the risk I am willing to take.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah. So let's clear this.
Let's see
look at the track map. So Bottas looking good. P1.
The sounds of the cars are amazing. Says Tom. Yes, they are. That's because we've got a whole lot of real F1 audio worked into here. So we actually had a behind-the-scenes video about this, which we just put out last week, which is on our YouTube channel, which may be worth going to have a look at if you want to know a little bit more about the insane work that the sound team have done to bring you F1 driver audio, F1 engineer audio as well. You've got in there, as well as those car sounds sound absolutely fantastic. It's so good. So you're going on a new set of mediums. Don't fancy an old set?
No, not quite. I don't think
Chris,
so. No. Not scrub. No.
Okay.
I think this is the right time. We shall see. I'm going to try to go for a there.
How are we looking? 58% we're reckoning on those tyres. So look at the tyre wear graph. It's all right.
Yeah.
And we're holding position. I mean, Leclerc is getting a little bit close there in the Ferrari potentially, but he's I don't know.
You're in the fight. You're in the podium fight.
Yeah.
But yes, this is going to be Porsche's in lap. I like that he's in a fight. Look, I'm hoping, so you can see Stroll there in 13th. Ahead of him is a load of clear air. I'm hoping we can get out in front of that but we shall see. And even if not, hopefully we've got the pace, we've got the overspeed to make it past them. Right, so Porsche is in. Go, 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 go.
Okay.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, come on. Okay.
I like that because on at least on this screen you can see the time.
Yeah,
if you're
true.
looking at any of the other menus on that system, when you look at the if you're fiddling with your ERS or anything, you're going to miss the pit window.
True, very true. Okay, so that hopefully, as long as we can manage these tyres, is the last stop that that Porsche will make, and hopefully the rest of the field will kind of come back to him a little bit.
My tyres are still looking good,
53.
you know. This is okay.
You're happy we're still conserving them a little bit?
I am, yeah. I think I am. I'm just trying to hold out for a reason to come in, even if I get a VSC would be quite nice.
You're like 6 seconds off the lead of the Grand Prix.
Not bad at all.
So you're right in the hunt, and this is really interesting to see that.
But are they going to one stop or two stop? That's the question.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can see 2, 3, 4 teams here in with a shout of winning this race, which is really, really cool. There's not a runaway team.
Exactly. Look at it. You know, we've got Alpine, we've got Red Bull, we've got Williams, we've got Mercedes, we've got Ferrari, McLaren, who are all.
McLaren on pole.
Russell's just set the fastest lap.
Yeah. Maybe he knows something we don't, and he's on a good strategy.
What tyres is he on?
He's on
mediums.
He's on the mediums. Okay. Will they last till the end of the race? I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, we'll see. Let's actually switch this to leaders, just so we can see what the delta is here. And
yes.
Just 3.2 seconds off the lead of the Grand Prix. You're in the hunt.
3 seconds. Okay, come on.
I feel the anticipation.
I know.
20 laps to go.
Yes, I'm conscious of the fact that we are already over time and we've got 20 laps to go. But this is what happens when you play this game. You're gonna have to set aside your time, and you're gonna have to make sure that you're dedicated to getting this game played. Because
I think Verstappen just spun, so that's given you a position. You're P4. Or at least gave you more room. The leaders are closed up to Bottas. It is a 4-5 car fight for the win right now.
It's tight, but I need to pit again. You're
entering the window.
I know, but it's going to kill me. It's going to kill me.
Unless they stop too.
Unless they stop too. Show me their their tyres again.
Right. So hard tyres.
Oh, do you know what?
And they've got more life. Do you think they could go to the end or not?
We don't know, do we? 17 laps. Can we do 17 laps on the softs?
On the softs?
Potentially. I think we're going to be close. If you look at the predictions there of the tyre wear.
You've still got a bit of life in these tyres. You could maybe thrash these tyres for 2 or 3 laps and then come in on the softs.
Okay, right. What we're going to do? Let's quickly pause this. I know. Okay, right. So chat. What we're going to do is. We're saying risk it, but what are we saying risk it? Risk it as in risk it and stay out, or risk it and go in? Because, excuse me, I think we push. Okay. So we're going to set the lap. Let's set the. Where are we on the track?
Here.
Fine. Okay. What we're going to do now is we are going to set up a pit stop.
Yeah.
And we're going to go on to the medium.
You're absolutely go on medium tyres.
I think I'm going to go on the medium tyres.
Okay.
And we'll pit this lap and then push everything.
So for this lap and
we're going to
laps
attack.
After.
Yeah, we're going to attack.
Bit of ERS?
Yeah, why not? Press some buttons. Okay, let's do it.
Switch everything up. Turn it up to 11. Right, here we go.
Okay, box.
This is inspired if it works.
If this works, I am literally a god of strategy.
Okay, right. I was worried about what you were going to say.
Let's speed this up because we are. I'm so sorry that we're going on. All right, 11th.
Yeah.
There's 16 laps to go. You know, I don't think they're going to make it to the end of the race on those tyres.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if they pit or not. But this is it now. This is the phase. I'm going to be watching these guys like a hawk now to see if they can pit.
Bearing in mind, Russell is set for P1 here. Really, if we take all the data from the start of the race. Let's look at your times. Fastest middle sector. Here we go.
So you're making good ground.
Albano, baby, let's go.
Lots of rubber on the track, fresh mediums on. You're making great ground. You just need to hope that those other cars are going to come back to you.
Let's turn put our ERS back down to neutral as well, or harvest. Neutral.
Actually,
we'll harvest for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see. If we'll harvest, and then if they start pitting, that's when we'll get it back up. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, your fuel's a little bit low.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. We'll drop it down.
It's a close one, though. I don't think we need to worry too much about it. They're just keeping an eye on it. I think it's a case of your engineer there coming along to say, by the way, don't forget to change this.
Maybe for Albon too. I think let's just make sure we've got half a lap or so just in the tank, just in case things kick off.
Yes.
Or okay, maybe let's get you back onto there so you're not losing too much time. You are pushing those tyres.
There's some pits behind us, which means I'm really hopeful for some pits ahead of us.
Interesting where they come out compared to Porsche as well. Right, I need to speed. We've done that thing. We've put it down to 1 time speed. They've just come out in front of Porsche. That's unfortunate. Okay. So unless anything drastic happens to Porsche's race, he's probably going to finish P12.
That's 8 places gained. That's not too bad. I have gained 0. So,
but long way to go.
Yeah. Dinner's getting cold again, says Hoodie Pete. Yeah, it's the way it is.
If they were to come in now, that I'd say they'd be on the softs.
It's going to be a very
yeah. Right. So where are the? If I press number 1 here, so they're here. Are they going to come in? Are they going to come in?
It's not a 2D or a 3D mode, Anacross. Are they coming in? They're coming in.
Albon is up to P4. Albon is up to P4. Will the other drivers stop? That is the key question now. And then if they do, can you hold on to position? Norris, no. Magnussen, no. Gasly, no. Right. Okay. Sorry, you're in the middle of a question.
I was, yes, yeah. So it's not a 2D and a 3D mode. The reason we're in 2D mode, so to speak, now is because we are literally just trying to speed through the process. Because you've got 1 and 2 times are your kind of 3D modes. We can show you the 2D and the 3D version there. There you go, look. But if we stayed in this the whole time, it would take about an hour and a half to do the race without doing any practice or qualifying. So it's not the fact that we don't want to show this, it's just the fact that we're just trying to get through it as quick as we can.
Totally, right.
Because it looks gorgeous on the night race.
So here's Albon. You've got a good gap, but fresh tyres behind you. Yeah. It's going to be rough.
Let's use some of that fuel. We've got fuel to spare here.
Yeah.
So do you with Porsche.
Yeah, it's pushing back up. There's plenty of life in my tyres actually, so I'm going to go aggressive.
Saying fuel. So the good thing about having chat when you play this game is that they can watch all the things that we can't watch whilst we're trying to stream and play this game at the same time, which is very excellent. Helpful. So thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah, let's burn that fuel off. Let's burn it off harder. I want to burn it all the way. Let's push really hard.
Okay, it's ticking down.
Stamp that foot down.
Yeah, no more lifting and coasting. You've got a shot here. I think a really strong finish. I think it's just about if you can hold on to position ahead of. So Leclerc and Bottas behind you are fighting quite hard. Yes. So that might slow them down and give you a bit of a chance to hold on to 4th. But you're showing good pace anyway.
Let's have a quick
lap. New fastest lap.
That was a stonking lap. Thank you. Fastest lap, Alex Albon. We're going to get a point there for that regardless.
Yeah.
I think. Are the regulations still going to get a point for fastest lap?
Okay, good. It didn't change. Still 1 point for fastest lap.
Let's turn that fuel down because we're going to lose it.
Dear.
Yeah, that's gone the bad way. That's gone the bad way. This could be embarrassing.
It will come back, I think, just about in time.
What happened on our test run, Chris?
Yeah, well, we ran out of fuel right at the end of the race and the car stopped. So let's make sure that doesn't happen again. 0.1, 0.2. Okay, we're good. A lot to do, trying to keep it steady. Ooh, Teo, don't. You got a big gap ahead of you.
Oh.
Just hold on P12. Okay.
This all comes down to this could potentially be because we didn't fully set up our drivers. We just kind of pinged them out there. We didn't hone in the.
I tell you what.
Is it happening?
Oh, come on. There's a podium on the cards here. Come on. He's going for it.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go review.
Bye.
There he goes. Pierre Gasly and Mercedes is now behind. Right now,
that was not liked by Pierre Gasly.
So he disliked by Pierre Gasly, absolutely. But now you've got to try and hold on to the position.
We do, which is going to be tricky with very little fuel. We've got 60% left on these tyres, we reckon, which is great. So yeah, let's watch. Let's watch the action. Let's see what happens here. We'll
5 laps to go. Speed up a little bit. Oh, I want to speed it up, but also I want to watch the action.
Williams Esports with the big Williams W in the chat as well. Yes!
We're doing this for you.
You're welcome, Williams Esports. We did it, 2030.
Yeah.
We did it.
Just you wait. So I think Porsche, just checking back into Porsche.
Yes.
I think that's looking pretty set.
That's a safe 8 places gained there if that happens, Chris.
Decent. Unfortunately, no points, but I'll take the blame for that.
Yes. No, let's have a look at our interval, because I'm very scared of the Leclerc interval. Oh, we're okay.
Yeah, three and a bit. You're making really good ground. You're showing really good pace on those tyres. The idea of putting on the mediums and just thrashing
them. Just going it. That's works.
And you're pushing up towards Magnussen here.
Can you imagine?
You are 1.6 seconds behind Magnussen with 3 laps to go.
Come on.
Here it comes.
Come on the straights.
Here he
Let's
comes.
Let's watch.
Albon! Right, come on then.
Just burn the tyres down.
Let's go. I love this angle.
This is my favourite angle in the game. Get that ERS up.
Let's go deploy. DRS on the straight, penultimate lap about to begin.
Come on,
Come
P2.
on, chat, cheer him on.
P2
Coming
Albon.
for P2. He's pulling up
Making it
on
early.
Tyres,
Look at it go. These medium tyres.
So look, it's going to take some doing to catch Lando.
It is. I don't think
Lando
we'll
and
catch
Mercedes.
Lando.
But that's a turn up for the books. You didn't see that coming in practice and qualifying.
See, somebody said maybe I could have won the race on the softs, but if I'd have put the softs on, I might not have been able to burn them for as long to gain these places.
Hey, once you get in the game for yourself,
yeah.
You show for yourself. You know that strategy for yourself and show.
This is the perfect game for us backseat strategists, isn't it? When we all sit there and watch the race on a Sunday and we go, "Oh, I wouldn't have done that." This is the perfect game for this.
So you're building a good gap to Magnussen here. I think you're looking good, right? So Paul shares, fair enough. I don't want him spinning, and he's got a big gap behind him, so we'll slow.
I reckon we're getting a tow from Norris here. You know, we're not too far away, and we're not too close.
2.2.
2 seconds.
1.9,
oh
1.8.
God, if this works, I'm going to run around this one. if this has turned
this could be on the line, you know.
To be, you're going to have to go to the camera view. You're going to have to do it.
I'm sorry, yeah. Here we go. Come on.
Come on. This is obscene. What have we got? We've got really probably 2 straights to do it on.
So the first DRS section tends to be a good overtaking opportunity. He's on the hard tyres.
Yeah.
You've got such a good opportunity here to win the race.
We've got fuel. We've got plenty of tyre left. This will be my first win, actually, you know.
Come on! We should have ended this like 50 minutes ago.
I know,
He slowed him down. He's slow.
Over.
He's so slow out there. But here we go!
Yes!
He's through P1!
Yes!
P1!
Never in any doubt when I started 7th.
Started 7th. The practice runs didn't look good, but the perfect race strategy.
3-time world champion in 2030, Alex Albon.
Yep.
Heading
he's back on
over the line.
Showing his class. Absolutely superb.
Here we go.
Come on. Just see it out. You built the gap. They're struggling
the gap's
on the tyres.
fine. The gap's. It's the tyres. The tyres did it.
Here he comes. Let's go wide view as if we were watching a race.
Yes.
Yes, come on! The winner of the 2030 Bahrain Grand Prix, Alexander Albon.
Alexander Albon, 2030. You heard it here first.
Sticking with me?
Yes!
Who said you can't pass around here?
Who said you can't pass around here? Yes, superb. Superb. Oh, absolutely love it.
Amazing.
P1.
Yes. That's the first win. That's the first podium we've had on the stream now.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely
that was superb.
Incredible. That's so cool.
So, I mean, 8 positions up for Porsche, but 6 up for Albon from P7 to get the win. Superb.
That's not bad at all. You
Absolutely
know what? You can win the prediction because I won the race.
You can take your prediction. Yeah, fair enough. Totally understandable. Inspired move to put them on the medium tyres.
It was a gamble.
Yeah.
Everyone said softs. And I went mediums.
And like 3 laps to go, there were people saying, "Oh, you could have won this if you did this well."
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That just goes to show. The importance of strategy in F1 Manager 2022.
And
out he comes.
And out he comes
to celebrate his victory.
Clambering out there.
Must be knackered.
I know. Well, he's carried the stream, Chris.
Get in.
Absolutely amazing scenes. Absolutely amazing scenes. I'm chuffed to bits.
Team loving it.
I'm gonna go home and tell people that I won a race. Yes. Look at that.
Oh, he loves it. Brilliant. Fantastic. Fastest lap in the end ended up going to Bottas. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. We don't need the points. We need the prestige.
Superb. Well done, Steve.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. That was great.
W's in the chat, I think, for Steve and his excellent
W's in the chat for
yeah.
Williams in 2030.
W for
How
Williams.
about that? Yeah, there we go. Big W's.
Yeah, thanks Williams Esports as well for checking in. So you can see this. So the reason you could catch Norris is because he was really struggling on those hard tyres.
Yes.
On a one-stop strategy.
Loads of W's.
So the 2-stopper was the way to go.
It was, yeah. It worked out. I don't know if anyone else was on the mediums at the end there, but it didn't seem like
Bottas.
it. I think Bottas. So yeah, Bottas on the fastest lap, but Norris being on the hards there was a big
key things there. You made that early stop onto the hard tyre. Undercut, got through some of the traffic to get some room, and you set some really fast laps and got into the pack. Yeah. And then you nailed that final stop. That's what strategy's all about.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You can do that yourself.
And this is happening 8 seasons into the future.
8 seasons into the future.
We just had a back and forth, dramatic, exciting, unpredictable race 8 seasons into the future.
Yeah.
So these things are going to keep happening. The more you play, it's not going to change how exciting and unpredictable it's going to be. So awesome.
15 days, Chris.
15 days.
15 days and 16 minutes over That was sick, Tom. Yes, it was. But yeah, 15 days. We're 16 minutes overdue, but I think it was worth it for that outcome. I think if we'd have not got that outcome, then you know, that was...
Moral of the story, I messed up qualifying and didn't really get the strategy right, and I finished 12th. We got the strategy for qualifying was fine for Albon, and you nailed the strategy in race P1. It's possible.
It's possible. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it from anywhere you want.
But it's so cool to see things like this happen into the future.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, 15 days to go. Shall we do the old rundown of all the key important information?
I think we're meant to, yeah. I think that's obviously we finished the race, so it's probably our time to remind you what this game is and when it's coming out. Chris, you do this bit so well.
Right, F1 Manager 2022, official management game of Formula 1. It's here, it's nearly here, it's so nearly here. Coming out from August 25th on PC, so that's Steam and Epic Game Store, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. If you pre-order the digital edition, you can play from August 25th, so in 15 days.
Yes.
And there's also details on the website about potential 10% discount if you pre-order as well, so make sure to check that out. If you don't pre-order a digital edition, you can play from August 30th, and the physical edition will also be available in selected stores from August 30th. You mentioned like the behind the scenes videos. We showed you feature focus. Head over to our YouTube channel. We've got playlists on there of gameplay deep dives, behind the scenes looks with drivers, including Alexander Albon.
Yes,
we had a chat with him earlier in the year.
He is in one of our behind the scenes videos.
Yeah, so those are really cool. Go check those out. Join us on Reddit and Discord. I think if you put a thing in.
If one of the mods presses !Discord, then we'll get a nice little announcement post come up in the chat there, which will let you join our Discord. That's where we hang out during the day. Yeah. We chat with people that are ready to play the game, just to build up the community and have a good time.
So yeah, Discord and Reddit. If you ever want to pose a question, and we'll try and get back to you. And then of course Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at F1 Manager or F1 Manager Game on Facebook, and you'll find us there sharing news and info as we build towards launch. I'm even more excited now.
I know. I'm so gassed. That was so great. That was so cool just to see that climbing up through the ranks there at the last time, and based on your actions. You know, that's the part that makes it so
But yeah,
so cool.
Get your pre-order in, and in 15 days' time, you'll be able to do this for yourself. So awesome.
Thank you very much, folks. That's about all we've got time for. It's more than we've got time for at this point. But thank you very much for hanging out with us for a little bit longer there. I think it was worth it to see that that prestigious victory for Alex Albon at the start of the 2030 F1 season. Thank you very much to Adam behind the scenes and behind the cameras. Thank you very much to you all in chat, and thank you very much to our moderators and everyone there for hanging out. And we'll see you next time for the launch of the game. I presume.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.